We're at Northern Motors for our first Behind the Wheel segment. I'm Grant Nelson here with Shane Dondelinger of Northern Motors. Shane, what are we going to get behind the wheel of today?
Well, our first one's going to be with a 2019 Chevy Equinox. One of our best sellers. Great on mileage, tons of options. Rick will show you all kinds of it in the car when you guys get on the road.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's kind of a cool morning, but I think the car's warmed up and ready to go. So I'd like to get going, but do you have any special financing or anything like that you want to talk about before we head out?
We have huge discounts up to $4,500 in rebates on certain models. It is the time to buy right now.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, let's get out there and let's find out what it's like to be behind the wheel of the Chevrolet Equinox. We're ready to start our first behind the wheel test of the Chevy Equinox. Riding shotgun, Rick Harbert. Rick, tell us a little bit about this car. I mean, when I get into it, I don't see anywhere to put a key.
Well, I tell you what, on these, they got a key fob that you can keep in your pocket or your purse. As long as it's within your possession when you come up to the car, all you have to do is touch a small button that's on the door handle. Touch it once, it opens the driver's. Touch it twice, it opens all the doors. Jump into the car, put your foot on the brake, and push the button to start the engine. Same way when you shut it off. You just push the button to shut it off. You get out of the car, touch the button on your driver's door, it locks all your doors. You do not have to take your keys out of your purse or your pocket. The people love it, the ones that have got it so far.
I bet they do. Now, as long as we're talking about kind of some of the safety things, some of the how the vehicle operates, something I noticed, there's a rear seat alarm. Like if you leave something in the rear seat or leave someone in the rear seat, it lets you know.
It does, and like the same way when you shut your car off, it'll come up with a deal right on the information center telling you a rear seat reminder. What that's telling you, so you don't want to leave that child or groceries or anything else left in the back seat. It's a great thing with the child, child in a car seat.
When you talk about groceries, that reminds me of something. I help my wife out with the groceries, of course, like all of us guys do. When we pop the back gate open, sometimes it seems like that gate just goes up a little bit too high. It actually even touches the overhead garage door sometimes. And now this is, you've got a remedy for this.
Right, there is a setting that's on the driver's door on a dial. It'll show the full height for opening it, or 3/4, or you can shut it off completely if you'd like. A lot of people are a little bit shorter. That 3/4 is nice. It's a lot much easier to reach, and it doesn't go up as high in your garage, so it would hit your garage door. On certain garages, it wouldn't be as high. So that is a nice feature where you can change that from opening all the way.
And for some of us height challenged people, I'm not width challenged, but I'm height challenged. That would be helpful to us.
Absolutely, absolutely. And a very nice feature. You're coming out of the store with groceries or anything. And as long as you have your fob with you, you can hit the door or hit the button. The door is up when you get there.
Oh, that would be so nice.
Get inside the car, you can push the one on the inside to shut it, or there's also one in the back to push the button to shut it down. So, works great.
This sounds like a good, safe, great car. Let's go for a ride.
Absolutely.
Rick, it seems like when we talk about getting behind the wheel and going for a ride, most people think about, highway speeds and moving along, that sort of thing. But to me, a lot of my driving is done in town, and a lot of my driving involves parking lots and that sort of thing. And I noticed on the 2019 Chevy Equinox, you've got a rear camera for when you put it in reverse. We just started out in reverse. We reversed out of the parking spot. I noticed the camera popped on right away.
Yeah, very nice feature. It's a very bright picture, so you can see, like, say, backing out of your driveway for a child, this type of thing. Not recommended to back up by your camera. You still should use your mirrors and everything and looking back, but it's a nice safety item that will let you know right away if something is directly behind your car.
Okay. People associate handling oftentimes with higher speeds, but we spend a lot of our times going over chuck holes and potholes, especially up here in northern Minnesota. And the ride on the Equinox so far over a lot of those conditions has been fantastic.
Right. And the acceleration on the 1.5 turbo is great. You get 32 miles to the gallon on the highway. So they also have a couple other different engine options, which is the 2.0, which drops your mileage just a little bit, but does give you quite a bit more power. And also now this year they come out with the 1.6 diesel that is up to 38 miles to the gallon.
Wow. I tell you what, that's pushing the hybrids even at 38 miles per gallon.
It is.
Well, you talked about the horsepower on the 1.5 turbo. We're coming up to the edge of town. We're not going to speed, obviously, but we're going to dig into those ponies here in just a little bit and see what they do.
Absolutely. Just watch behind you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, we're moving up to highway speeds right now. Having a responsive vehicle is also a part of safety. There are times when you need to pass a vehicle and you need to do it in the most safe and efficient manner. With the horsepower of this 1.5, I can't believe it. You know what the 1.5 turbo feels like to me, Rick? It feels like the old 6-cylinders, like about a 3800 cc old 6-cylinder.
It does. It's exactly right. It's amazing the power that comes out of a 4-cylinder.
Oh man, that's everything you want. Plus at 32 miles per gallon, I mean, you're always talking about making comparisons or making good compromises. And this is a fantastic, that doesn't even feel like a compromise.
And you'll notice it's a very quiet ride. Oh. They've done a lot with the cab of this vehicle.
We've got the fan running, the heat fan running right now. We've got the radio playing in the background and us talking. And I mean, you can tell we're talking at a regular conversational voice.
Right.
Braking is extremely responsive. Just give it just a little bit. It's almost like pulling the trigger on a gun. All you got to do is just think about it a little bit, and it does it for you. Beautiful. Okay, Rick. We think about tar roads a lot of times when we're driving around, but if you're in northern Minnesota, you probably do some gravel roads before you get on the tar. So we're going to take it. We're not going to take it off road, but we're going to take it on some gravel roads now and see what it's like.
Sure.
Okay, we are on a gravel road right now. It's a nice improved gravel road, but really the difference in ride isn't that much different from when we're on the tar. I mean, you can feel the rise and falls in the road, but actually as far as like the comfort level, it's still fantastic, Rick.
It is, and also very quiet.
I love that. I mean, we can have a nice, easy conversation here. I mean, this is a hard gravel road. It's not going to get any worse condition during the season here in northern Minnesota. So this is as bad as it's probably ever going to get, and we're doing great in here. This great. The noise level is low. Comfort level is high.
Right. Another option that is new into the Equinox is the all-wheel drive shut-off. At one time, they were an automatic all-wheel drive where you could not disarm the all-wheel drive. Now there is a button down on the console that you can push off, and so during the summer months when all-wheel drive is not needed, you are going to help your gas mileage out a little bit by pulling off the all-wheel drive light.
It's a fantastic option. I mean, we're always thinking about how to do the best possible gas mileage with any of our vehicles, and even a couple miles per gallon makes a difference over a long season. I mean, we've probably got at least 5-6 months during the summer and fall and late spring where you probably don't need all-wheel drive that often.
Right.
All right, we're in reverse right now. Now, we don't expect you to use only the backup camera. It's supposed to be used in addition to your other senses, which I'm using right now, the outside mirror and rear view mirror, and also just looking side to side. But the screen is so clear and so nice and so helpful. I mean, if there was somebody behind me or a pet or a grocery cart, I'd see it so easily right now. It's amazing. The difference between having a color camera and a black and white camera and something with this good of quality, it really makes a difference,
Right.
Rick.
No, they're great. People love them.
They do. Hey, we're behind the wheel with Rick Harbert from Northern Motors in the 2019 Equinox. Rick, some of us like to go to town every once in a while, and that involves some freeway driving. Can you tell us a little bit about the lane alert system?
Well, it's a safety device that when you turn your signal on, say at 60 miles an hour, and you're about to change lanes, if there's a car in your blind spot, that will alert you on your driver's mirror, which is the way you'd be looking to change lanes, to alert you there is a car there. It's a great safety thing, because we all know how easy it is to miss that car when you turn that signal on and start changing lanes.
Yeah, you know, that blind spot has been the cause of many accidents, and to be able to have something that reminds you, hey, there's somebody in that blind spot, that's a fantastic feature. Just another one of the great safety features on the 2019 Equinox.
Right.
Rick, a lot of the people who work in Northwest Minnesota probably work in a building that's got a lot of steel and a lot of concrete. Tell me about the My Chevrolet app and its ability to start your car remotely.
Right, Grant, you can download the My Chevrolet app onto your smartphone. You can start this vehicle virtually from anywhere. I mean, if it was, even if it was in another town, you could start it. But I mean, like some of the places like you talked about that you work in a large building and need to start your vehicle in the cold days, you can go right onto your phone, you can start it, you can find out your air pressure and your tires on your phone, how much fuel is left in the vehicle. I mean, it's a great app and works good. And like I say, there's a lot of times the factory starter on your key fob is good, they say, for 200 feet, so right outside your door it's fine. But when you're working inside a building, this My Chevrolet app is great.
Okay. And as long as we're talking about technology, we all got smartphones now. We all carry them around. Apple CarPlay, Android compatibility, we've got that for the 2019 Equinox, right?
It's all there.
So you can feel that the things that work on your phone, you're going to be able to have some interoperability with the 2019 Equinox, which is a good thing to have.
Right.
Rick, I couldn't help but notice when we got in the vehicle, there's a ton of space. I mean, you could get groceries for several families with this one.
That's right. The Equinox is set up as a 5-passenger vehicle, but when you can lay the back seats down, you'd have 63.9 cubic feet. So there's a lot of room.
And you know, you're probably going to need that much room to carry all the cash you're going to save with the GM rebates. Why don't you tell us about that?
Right now there's up to on select models, there's a $4,500 rebate on this vehicle.
Wow.
Fantastic.
That helps your bottom line. I mean, when you think about that, if you get a chance to punch in a calculator, an amortization calculator, and you see what happens when you take off $4,500 off of a car purchase, I mean, it reduces not only the payment, but it can reduce the time it takes to pay it off.
It sure will. $4,500 over a 60-month contract is a lot.
Sure is. I love the 2019 Equinox. It's been responsive, powerful. It's a fantastic vehicle. I really can't say enough about it.
What we got to do is get these people to come out and take a drive. It's cold today, but it's nice and warm in here.
That's exactly right. It's been a fantastic ride. All you got to do is just get out here and take it for a ride. You'll be hooked.
We'd be glad to start them up, warm them up before you come if you give us a heads-up call.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Rick.
You bet. Thank you, Grant.
Well, Grant, what'd you think?
I loved it. The Chevy Equinox of 2019 is a fantastic car. I came in liking the Equinox already. I think I love it after this. We stopped for a while we were out, took a look at that tailgate because I've always thought to myself, the overhead garage door is a little bit too low for a lot of tailgates. Well, as it turns out, this tailgate's adjustable, which I know seems like a small thing, but it's wonderful if you're using this to go out and get groceries. The other thing, it's incredibly cold today. That heated seat was a real treat. I really enjoyed it. It's a responsive car. The 1.5 gets up and goes. I mean, I was impressed with the power. I was impressed with the handling. It's just a fantastic vehicle. I love the Chevy Equinox. The 2019 Chevrolet got it right.
That's good. We like them too. They're one of our best sellers, so I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Thanks very much for the ride.
You bet. Thanks, Grant.
Yep.